Hi, I'm Si from Cotic, and this is an introduction to our new trail bike, the Cotic Rocket. The project for the new trail bike started mid-2009, I guess, just with playing with the Hemlock. I was running it with 150mm travel at the time. The new guys I was riding with up in the Peak District all rode bikes, that kind of travel. We were riding the Peak District a lot, fast, rocky trails, they're very good riders. I needed a bike that could keep up, and I was really enjoying it. It was great riding a 150mm travel trail bike on that kind of terrain. However, I was interested in where things were going with new geometry, slack geometry. The Hemlock has a 1.5-inch head tube, so I got some K9 2-degree cups and slackened it right out. Wasn't sure when I saw it coming out the stand with its 66.5-degree head angle and really low bottom bracket, but it turned out to be really good fun. First few rides on the bike it was amazing on downhills. The Hemlock suspension's always been great, stuck to the floor, really effective. The geometry was so fun and so confidence inspiring, but on all the other things where I wasn't expecting it to be as good, on flowing contoury trails, steep climbs, even tight single track, it was a very surprisingly usable bike. I just felt that the suspension was so effective, it was so stuck to the floor that it could do with a bit more pop and a bit more interaction, so that kind of informed what I was looking at when I started doing the layouts for the Rocket. And the next stage of the project for me was to try out a bunch of different modern bikes, so I got together a bunch of very well thought of bikes, the bikes that were being written about, see if there's anything I could learn from them, see how their suspension feel was, see if any of the things that I defined when I developed the Hemlock in terms of what I liked and disliked still held true now with modern shocks. The nice thing was that largely they did, and the Hemlock still came out as my favourite feeling back end. So we had a geometry, we had a suspension criteria, and I knew that I wanted to change the frame rate to make the bike a bit more interactive, a bit more fun. So we had somewhere to go with that. There were several things that we wanted to improve though. The rocker link needed to be shorter for better stiffness, tie the back end to the bike harder, it needed better tyre clearance, and it needed a more progressive frame rate. Unfortunately, after several iterations, it became fairly clear that they were mutually exclusive, particularly with regard to keeping the rocker link short and neat and stiff and achieving the frame rate that I wanted. So that, combined with my research that was showing that I could achieve Hemlock characteristics in terms of the anti-squat and the chain growth with a single swing arm and not with the chainstay pivot, also meant that I started having to look at new suspension layouts, and that's where DropLink was born. One of the things that's a little bit different about the Rocket is that it's largely constructed from steel. This came about not through any level of dogma on our part, but actually was suggested to me by a couple of people during the development process. Once the rocker link was out the window and we were looking at a new suspension design, pretty much everything was up for grabs. The suggestion that it might be steel because, you know, Cotic makes steel bikes just kind of sat with me for a bit, and I wasn't too sure, but it seemed like an interesting enough angle that I should do some numbers. When you get a 35mm seat tube, which is pretty much the largest you can use sensibly, steel's actually very stiff. It's stiffer than aluminium in that size. You can't do anything more with aluminium apart from make it thick. So once that looked good and the front end started looking good, we weren't sure, but we felt the numbers looked interesting enough that we had to try. So the whole thing was coming together. The numbers were looking good, the steel front end was looking great, the weight was looking good, the new suspension design was looking good, and that was the key thing, that's the key phrase, it was looking good. It was completely different to the old bike, but it looked like a Cotic. It had neat, clean lines. Yes, that's identifiably a Cotic, and that was actually quite a key thing for us, and we didn't realise how much until the bike started coming together in that way. So fast forward to February 2011 and the first prototypes arrived. We built them up, and with not a little bit of trepidation, we took them for a ride. They were everything we wanted them to be and more. Before I even rode them, I was still a little nervous about what we'd done with the frame rate in terms of making the ride feel a little bit different. I was still nervous about how the steel front end would feel, and it all came together beautifully. The bikes were, I'd say, well over 90% right first time. Those first few rides were just a joy, and we knew we had something great on our hands. We're just really excited about this bike. It's coming in March 2012, and it's so great to be able to finally tell people about it. Just really looking forward to getting it out there, getting people talking about it, getting people riding them. And everyone here at Cotic is just so proud to have produced such a great bike.